This is Sirius 206 XM 103.
Good evening, radio fans. We are now back in the studio. Stand by for your station announcement. And away we go.
Now, I know you'd love to just sit there and keep being not slim, but we got to work a little today, okay?
Broadcasting channels of the entire world will be cleared. In every continent, in every land, in all the four corners of the earth, the whole world over. Men, women, and children, of every age and race, and nationality, station, and color. Men of every language ready now to listen to the same voice.
Is this on?
Finally, a way to combine my love of helping people with my love of hurting people.
So sit back, pop open a cold bottle of Brazilian mineral water, enjoy some poached salmon with capers, and adjust the satellite, because we have a great show.
And there was much rejoicing.
Unleash the fury.
Unleash the fury!
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Thursday. So,
and Big Kev's Geek Stuff, that not the podcast form, but was part of the Saturday Night History on High Voltage, The Virus, the Opie and Anthony channel,
studio,
the Big Question Mark channel now.
Right.
And so I'm glad to have you here again. We had a lot of fun last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I didn't do last week, well, maybe there's a lot of things I didn't do, not last week, last
2 weeks
time.
ago. Yeah. 3 weeks ago, whatever
I've lost all concept of time from everything that's been going on around here for the last couple of weeks. I forgot to thank some people. Thank. That was another thing. I don't think I pronounced the H in thank a lot.
Did you just say tank a lot?
Thank. Well, thank you, like that.
All right.
Forgot to thank some people for giving me this opportunity. Obviously, Opie and Anthony,
of course,
and Jim Norton. Tim Sabian, who's no longer with us, but he gave the green light for everything going on here, and Don Wickland for his support and advice and what have you here, and all those other people at SiriusXM, whoever they may be, that said, yeah, give them a show. We've got nothing else going on.
That's right. Best acceptance speech ever.
Right. 866-969-1969 if you want to give us a call, and erockcomment@gmail.com if you want to shoot an email, eRockRadio on Twitter. And I think that is all the stuff to contact the show if you choose to. We have a lot of stuff to give away. I've been tweeting, Instagramming, Facebooking,
social
a lot of
media
this stuff.
whore.
Yeah, social media whoring. We've got some really cool shit here to give away, courtesy of our friends at Shout Factory. You know about Shout Factory? I do too.
I think the first thing I ever purchased from them was San Diego Comic-Con maybe 4 years ago.
Right.
It was the entire Transformers box set. It came in the Energy of
came
Matrix.
in the Matrix,
Right,
yeah.
Fantastic box set. I've actually been watching it recently.
Shout Factory used to be I think one of the owners of Rhino Records, when they started buying all these weird licenses and putting them out. I guess the guy left or Rhino got folded up. But anyway, it became Shout Factory.
Right.
And they've been doing the same thing, and they've had the license for Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Nice.
Now, the problem with this is a lot of people saying, why haven't this come out a long time ago? Well, to do it on TV, I guess they had permission for airing those movies.
Right.
They didn't have permission to resell those movies. But as they've been getting licenses from these companies or whoever owns these old, crappy B-rated flicks, they've been putting them out. So we have a brand new box set here, number 30.
Nice.
For Mystery Science Theater. It includes 5 movies. We got a few of those we'll give away. A little later in the program, Weird Al Yankovic will be on. I did an interview with him. Look, I'm going to be honest. It's hard to get a guest on the weekend.
Yes, at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
No one's coming in at this time. So I talked to him earlier in the week. I will play that interview a little bit later. And he had some signed CDs that we'll give away. And also from our friends at Casual Friday, a toy company, a shirt company. They do a bunch of different stuff. And our friends at Suburban Vinyl gave us some of these toys here. I haven't seen these until they gave them to me. I didn't even know these were out. So these are just minifigures?
They're minifigures. They came out I want to say 6 or 7 months ago. I believe they're PVC, no points of articulation. Yeah,
Right.
they're just minifigures.
Well, if you're a fan of Army of Darkness, there's the Ash figure,
Right.
RoboCop, and the Phantom.
And the Phantom.
We have those to give away as well. What I do want to start out with, though, is there's a lot been going on in the world of television.
Yes, there has.
What are you pointing at?
Doctor Who trailer is like the first thing that pops up.
Well, we are going to get to that. So, Brad in Indiana, hang on.
Hang on.
There's been a lot going on in television as of late.
Sure.
I'm sure if you're really into TV or have just been reading anything, any kind of publication, a lot of people say we're in the golden age of television. The last 5 years, there's been a lot of great stuff that's come and gone and is still coming. Right now, we have The Strain, which started last week on FX.
Correct.
Guillermo del Toro.
And Chuck Hogan wrote the original novel. Now, this is interesting. They actually wrote it to be a TV series, but couldn't find a home for it. So they adopted it to 3 books.
Is it called graphic novel or the actual
No, novel. Not
novel.
In 2011, I don't remember the publishing company, but some comic book publishing company actually did put it out in comic book form. But they wrote an actual novel, meant for TV, but they couldn't get it picked up. Now FX has picked it up, and
here we are. So it debuted last week. Episode number 2 is tomorrow night.
Correct.
Was it 9 o'clock?
I believe it is 9 o'clock. It has to be
somewhere
9
in
o'clock
that 8 to 10 o'clock block that FX does on Sunday night. You saw the first 2 episodes. I saw the first 4 episodes. Right. So we'll only go far as the first leading into the second, so we're not spoiling anything for anybody, which I want to so bad.
Of course.
Especially, look, wait for episode 2. There's some weird, crazy shit that happens that you're like, this is a TV show. This is amazing. They're doing it the right way.
And how are they getting away with this on FX? Some of it is pretty intense.
Okay.
Visually.
Slight spoiler for you without really giving away too much. There's nudity.
There is nudity.
There's profanity.
There is profanity.
And there's something that happens to a guy's head.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that. But episode 1, the story, let's tell everybody what the story is.
Sure.
It's about this plane that comes from Berlin to the United States.
Right.
And they lose track of it somehow, but it landed and it's dead. Like everyone inside they think is dead.
I was watching it. It made me think of the very first episode of, I think was Fringe.
Right.
Also started with an airplane where everybody was dead when it lands.
So did Lost. How did that work out?
No, everybody was alive, but not really.
Remember, they faked bodies in the ocean.
That's right.
Because a billionaire didn't want to be held responsible for it. So this plane lands, people are dead. They're trying to figure out, and the disease control unit that goes in figures out there's some kind of bacteria. So they're tracing the bacteria, and then they find stuff in people. Little worms, I guess you want to call that.
Yeah, they're worms. Parasites.
And they discover that they're hungry for blood.
Right.
So vampires.
Yes, vampires.
Okay. So then there's also another item on the plane, a big piece of cargo.
Right.
Which turns out to be a coffin full of dirt. That was transported from Germany to the United States, which ties into that old storyline from Dracula where Dracula was shipped from London to New Orleans.
Right. I don't remember. I remember only vaguely that story. I don't remember it in its full entirety, but
there is a story about that where Dracula was shipped in the soil, being dead and all that stuff. So it's shipped here. The thing that was in the box is missing. All this stuff's going on, and for some reason, Sean Astin's in the middle of this as well.
Yes.
So, the first episode, it's a little bit slow, but it's breaking into what the hell is going on. When episode 2, tomorrow night on FX, plug, kicks in, you're going to be like, I am with this thing all the way.
100%.
Now, if you saw it, give us a call, 866-969-1969 if you want to talk about it. The Strain is really good. I saw the first 4 episodes, like I said. It can only get better from everything that I saw. Another little spoiler that maybe I could get Jim Norton to watch this show. Marlo from The Wire's in it.
There you go.
He's in a future episode and appears somewhere else in the show. Maybe we can get him on this and into some pop culture stuff.
There you go. That'd be nice.
My problem here is now that I like the show, if a question comes up, I'm like, I'm not quite sure what I just saw. And I try to go online.
It's a slippery slope.
Here's
Be careful.
the problem I'm having. A lot of great TV shows are based on books.
Sure.
So when they come out, The Leftovers, HBO, we'll get to that in a second. You're trying to watch these shows, and you're like, I don't know what that person's role is. I'm going to look online. Maybe they explain something on the official site.
Right.
They'll give you a little hint without spoiling everything. You find something where there's a bunch of fans who read the book. They're blowing all the surprises for you, and they're telling you how awful whatever it is that you read, because it's not the book.
Right.
No matter what it is, the book is always better. To these people. The Strain, I think, can be, if it continues going the way it is going to be on par to whatever the book is.
I have not read the book at some point.
You are.
I've convinced myself that I'm enjoying the show so much that I do want to know what the books are about.
Right.
Unlike some other shows that we'll talk about. So I actually will go back and read those 3 books.
All right. So let's jump over from The Strain to The Leftovers on HBO.
Right.
Another show that's based on a book.
Correct.
Who wrote the book for The Leftovers?
It's Tom Perrotta was the author for that book.
Okay, now you said this is the guy that wrote Election?
Yes, he wrote Election. I know he's done other things, but Election was the one that stuck out to me the most.
Okay.
And I did read the book for The Leftovers, but I have not seen the TV show. Now, this is my personal opinion. No spoilers. Mm-hmm. I will not be watching the television show after reading the book.
What happened?
I hated the book.
Give me the ending right now.
I hated the book. I could say something right now that might piss people off, so I'm not going to. I hated the book so much that I have no interest in seeing the TV show.
Oh, no. See, this is the problem. Great ideas, and they come from books, and then people who read the books... Game of Thrones is another show. All right?
Sure.
Everybody knew it was a whole series, so when the show came, people were still excited for it. They're still excited for it when it airs currently.
Right.
When something new comes out. But you find the people who read ahead,
of course,
and they're got to fuck it up for everybody.
Every single week. It's nonsense.
That scene, that's not exactly how that scene went in the book. And then they're fucking everything up for people. So I'm having a problem because I like The Strain. I like The Leftovers. You told me you had a problem because you read the book and you're not going to watch the series now.
That's right.
So you already planted the seed in my head that this is going to get fucked up.
Look, I've heard that the TV show is very different from the book. So what I will say is after a season or 2 of The Leftovers, if I hear enough positive vibe, maybe I'll go back and check it out. But I'm not going to put myself through the Lost thing again. I'm not doing it.
So without giving anything away, we're trying our best here. I think I gave something away earlier and didn't realize it. But we'll move forward. Without giving anything away, you were disappointed with the book. Can I say, were you disappointed as if it were a Stephen King book? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, no.
Stephen King tends to have really weak to nothing endings for a great story.
Yes. I will say that is my major disappointment.
Damn it, I wanted to like the show. The Ninth Doctor is in it.
I know.
Christopher Eccleston.
I know.
He plays the preacher, minister, whatever you want. He was the whole focus of the last episode, last Sunday on HBO.
Yeah.
It was a great episode. I really think you should watch it and see if maybe they're straying away from the book and doing something totally different.
But if it ends up anywhere remotely near where the book ends up, I don't know that I can make that commitment. That's just me personally. Maybe someone else feels differently if they've read it and are watching the show and are enjoying it. But for me, I don't think I can make that commitment right now. I'll stick to The Strain for right now.
All right. Well, speaking of The Strain, Tracy in California wants to talk about it. Tracy, how are you?
Good, gentlemen. How are you?
How's it going, Tracy?
Same old. Hey, so I got a question regarding the TV shows, right? Could be The Strain, could be Breaking Bad, whatever you want. Do you guys prefer to binge watch a TV show, or do you prefer to kind of watch week to week?
I'll let Matt go first on this.
I normally do prefer to binge watch a show, especially if I know it's a couple seasons in, and I'm trying to catch up. I'll try to watch as much as I can in like a 2-day period. But there are certain shows that I really enjoy watching week to week. I'm a huge fan of Arrow. I actually look forward to watching Arrow every single week. But for the most part, I binge because I don't watch anything live anymore. Everything I watch is on the DVR, and it always ends up being 2 or 3 episodes before I could sit down and catch up. So I'm always binging in some capacity.
Well, I like to watch shows in the binge style, if you want, for lack of any words. I like to watch it that way. If it's a show that's been on for a while that I haven't paid any attention to, and now it's piqued my interest, and I was like, well, you know what? I keep hearing people around here, they like this show. Oh, they have 3 seasons on Netflix. I think I'm going to spend the weekend and go through that. If it's something brand new, maybe by brand new, the current season. Like, say I'm almost at the end of the current season. I'll go back and start the on-demand and watch it one by one without binging through it. But if I could, I'd rather just download everything from iTunes or Netflix or something and just spend the weekend and ignore everybody in my life.
Right.
Right on. And another question for you guys regarding the whole, you guys mentioned MST 3K earlier in the show. Have you guys ever checked out any of the Riff Track Live stuff?
Like what? Well, the stuff on YouTube?
No, like when they do it in movie theaters or like AMC or something.
No, I've never been to one of the live shows.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's awesome.
What theaters do this?
What's that?
What theaters do this?
Well, I'm out here in California, so there's a big push for the AMC stuff. So
The chain. AMC's behind it. No, I haven't tried that. I don't even know if that's around here.
I was going to say, I don't know if I've ever seen it pop up in New York, although I would think New York would be a prime market for it. I just can't say that I've seen it actually advertised or pop up. So.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of, I think, different from a more traditional movie theater like crowd setting.
Right.
I mean, everybody that's going to go see this is a fan of either Riff Track or MST3K, so it kind of feels like more of a. It's not like people talking during the movie because people are already doing that on screen. But definitely a cool experience. If you guys can check them out, they're awesome.
Tracy, are you a fan of Mystery Science Theater?
Yeah, you know it.
All right, I'm going to give you one of the box sets I have here. It's Mystery Science Theater 3000, I guess volume 30, 5 new movies that they just got the license for to put out. It looks pretty good. I have one at home. I haven't watched it, but I do want to watch it, courtesy of our friends at Shout Factory. I'm going to put you on hold, give your address and everything to Adrian, and we'll send one out to you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
Let's go to Ken in California. Ken, what's up?
Hey, guys. So I, like you guys, have been watching The Strain. I absolutely love it. But before the show kicked on, I wanted to read the book, but, I just don't have time to, sit down and read a book. So I went and got the audiobook, which is fucking awesome because it's read by Ron Perlman.
Oh,
wow.
Really? I actually just saw the audiobooks today, and I was going to pull the trigger and grab them, and I said, yeah, I'm just going to grab the regular, but if I know it's Perlman, maybe I'll seek those out this weekend.
It's really, really good. I mean, if you don't already have an Audible account, it's like, there's your first book. There's 3. They're about 11, 12 hours long each.
Right.
And it's if you sign up for their subscription thing, it's like $15 a month, you get a book. Or you can buy credits from them, and it's like $30 for all 3 audiobooks. And it's just, he does a phenomenal performance through all of it. It's really fucking killer.
I'm definitely going to have to check those out now.
And then I talked to Eric about this on Twitter, but the over at Mondo Tees, they do, limited edition poster prints and vinyl records and cool stuff. There are 2 stunning prints for The Strain out right now.
Which one are you talking about? The one that has the sort of like the hazmat logo, or?
Well, it's the. I don't want to fucking spoil anything. It's
all right. You don't have to. Then.
Yeah. Thing, but I'm not going to say what it is. But there's 2. There's one that's like a face at the top of a crest of a big moon.
Oh, okay. I saw that one.
And then there's the other one with the figures with the things coming out of their mouths.
Right.
But I mean, there's only they're going to only print 300 or less of these things, and they're almost gone. So,
oh wow,
they're gorgeous.
Their prints over at Mondo tend to go really fast. Right? Very rarely do they have a concept or a license or something that is still sitting there hours after they made the initial announcement online. Usually within the first half hour, it's gone. Yeah. But the Strain hasn't picked up
on Twitter quick to get them.
Right, the Strain hasn't picked up that mainstream momentum yet. Episode 1, and a lot of people didn't read the books, but there's with Guillermo del Toro's name on it,
of course,
big fucking deal. Especially going into Comic-Con next week in San Diego.
Absolutely,
you're going to see everything's going to be all Strain going forward.
The Strain has a huge panel and some sort of fan event going on at San Diego. I just saw the news pop up maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week. So they've got a big push at San Diego this year, which is, of course, that makes sense. I mean,
Ken, you a fan of Mr. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, go ahead.
I feel like FX is going to push this as their Walking Dead, because I mean they need another thing like that out there. I feel like Walking Dead's momentum has dropped off with so many different showrunners and the quality of the show, rising and falling with each.
Yeah, I thought so too, but apparently I gave up on during season 3.
Yeah, I don't watch it anymore either.
Said this last season was really good, that it finished strong, and I haven't seen it, but this is what I heard.
It feels like every half season,
right?
Something happens where the show raises or drops in quality, and it's really obvious, like, when they take that break between, the two halves of the season,
right,
something shitty always happens, and the quality dips, or it goes way up. And I just can't stick with a show like that, Like, do I really want to sit through 6 to 10 hours of shit to get to 4 maybe good episodes of show?
Exactly.
Right.
That's why I stopped watching, for the exact reason. I just couldn't stomach it anymore, and I didn't want to waste my time anymore.
Do you know what I wound up doing? I used to tune into Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick,
right,
and catch up on I'm like, great, I didn't have to watch the whole thing. They just told me the plot points. I'm good. Done.
Yeah, that is a good. I should do that, because I could barely stomach this season. It's just terrible.
Yeah, no, I'm done with it.
Well, Ken, thank you very much. You like Mystery Science Theater?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, I'm going to give you one of the DVD box sets, Volume 30, from our friends at Shout Factory. Hang on the line and give them your info, and we'll hook you up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
All right. One of the things he said about things happening in the off-season that screw up the production for the next season, half seasons of TV shows.
Yeah, I know.
Is driving me nuts. And I'm thinking a lot of this started with The Sopranos taking too long between seasons.
Right.
That it got to the point where some other shows and production companies like, well, look, we can wait. The audience will stay there and wait for whatever we want to put out. So they started doing the half seasons, where Breaking Bad, Mad Men is still in the middle of this thing. They were in their final season, their whole goodbye promotional push, and it's only the first half of season 7.
Right.
The second half is not till January, I think, of 2015.
Right.
I'm hating this.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think that the break in between seasons works when you have a 22 or a 23 episode season. When you have these shows with shorter seasons, it's harder to stomach. But I think what happens with a lot of those shows, because they're specialty niche shows,
right,
they have a smaller budget.
Right.
So I'm guessing that they're probably filming them in chunks as well. And so there's a break for budget reasons.
Okay. But then do what Netflix does.
Oh, of course.
Lilyhammer. I know a lot of people are mixed on that show. I actually enjoy it. Lilyhammer's really good. The Kevin Spacey show, House of Cards.
House of Cards, yeah.
House of Cards. Everything all in one shot.
Of course.
Orange is the New Black, Hemlock Grove, those things. A lot of those shows don't have the budgets that they would have coming from like Castle Rock or Universal or Fox or whatnot.
Absolutely.
So they take what they can, shoot everything all at once. Sal was telling me the other day there's this show coming out, I think it's on Cinemax, that he's really excited for, called The Nick.
Okay.
It's about an old doctor at the turn of the century in New York City. And they shot all this at once. All done. Story is continuous, and no budget problems, no story problems, no runner problems. Enough with the fucking half seasons.
Also,
I like Mad Men, but I don't even want to wait to January. And then when it comes, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I'm still pissed off about it. Doctor Who did it. 66969-1969 if you want to give us a call, and erockcomment@gmail.com if you want to shoot an email, erock radio on Twitter. And I think that is all the stuff to contact the show if you choose to. We have a lot of stuff to give away. I've been tweeting, Instagramming, Facebooking, a lot of this stuff. Yeah, social media whoring. We've got some really cool shit here to give away, courtesy of our friends at Shout Factory. You know about Shout Factory? I do too.
I think the first thing I ever purchased from them was San Diego Comic-Con maybe 4 years ago.
Right.
It was the entire Transformers box set. It came in the Energy of Matrix.
In the Matrix.
The Matrix,
right,
yeah. Fantastic box set. I've actually been watching it recently.
Shout Factory used to be I think one of the owners of Rhino Records, when they started buying all these weird licenses and putting them out. I guess the guy left, or Ryan, big question mark channel now.
Right.
And so I'm glad to have you here again. We had a lot lot of fun last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I didn't do last week, well, maybe there's a lot of things I didn't do, not last week, last
2 weeks
time.
ago. Yeah. 3 weeks ago, whatever
I've lost all concept of time from everything that's been going on around here for the last couple of weeks. I forgot to thank some people. Thank. That was another thing. I don't think I pronounced the H in thank a lot.
Did you just say tank a lot?
Thank. Thank you, like that. I forgot to thank some people for giving me this opportunity. Obviously, Opie and Anthony,
of course,
and Jim Norton. Tim Sabian, who's no longer with us, but he gave the green light for everything going on here, and Don Wicklund for his support and advice and what have you here, and all those other people at SiriusXM, whoever they may be, that said, yeah, give them a show. We've got nothing else going on.
That's right. Best acceptance speech ever.
Right.
This is Sirius 206. XM 103.
Good evening, radio fans. We are now back in the studio. Stand by for your station announcement.
And away we go.
Now I know you'd love to just sit there and keep being not slim, but we got to work a little today, okay?
Broadcasting channels of the entire world will be cleared. In every continent, in every land, in all the four corners of the earth, the whole world over. Men, women, and children. Of every age and race, and nationality, station, and color. Men of every language ready now to listen to the same.
I know it got folded up, but anyway, it became Shout Factory.
Right.
And they've been doing the same thing, and they've had the license for Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Nice.
Now, the problem with this is a lot of people saying, why haven't this come out a long time ago? Well, to do it on TV, I guess they had permission for airing those movies.
Right.
They didn't have permission to resell those movies. But as they've been getting licenses from these companies or whoever owns these old crappy B-rated flicks, they've been putting them out. So we have a brand new box set here, number 30.
Nice.
For Mystery Science Theater. It includes 5 movies. We got a few of those we'll give away. A little later in the program, Weird Al Yankovic will be on. I did an interview with him. Look, I'm going to be honest. It's hard to get a guest on the weekend.
Yes, at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
No one's coming in at this time. So I talked to him earlier in the week. I will play that interview a little bit later. And he had some signed CDs that will...
So, is this on?
Finally, a way to combine my love of helping people with my love of hurting people.
So sit back, pop open a cold bottle of Brazilian mineral water, enjoy some poached salmon with capers, and adjust the satellite, because we have a great show.
And there was much rejoicing. Unleash the fury.
Unleash the fury!
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Thursday. So,
and Big Kev's Geek Stuff, that, not the podcast form, but was part of the Saturday Night History on High Voltage, The Virus, the Opie and Anthony channel.
Studio.